So with this week's episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero, we get the cost of power, and what it is you're willing to risk for said power. For the queen of this country, you can see rebellions, uprisings, and people trying to overthrow your ruling will occur, but you also see that if you know what you're doing, you can make sure you smack those bitches in the head. With Naofumi, we see the Curse series that just keeps on screwing him over, but unfortunately for him, at multiple points, he's forced to use it, else they would be killed. And I really like what this episode did with, honestly, you could call it the friendship, power of friendship, which typically, and many people, myself included, would say this is one of the worst plot devices across all of anime and manga. However, this actually didn't really feel like power of friendship, even though you could probably classify it as such. Because for Naofumi, he's a character who started off with the worst hand dealt, trusting no one, hating this world, hating everyone that he came into contact with. And the very select few group of people that he actually put trust in and grew to love and respect and consider them friends is really only 3 people at this point of time. We got Melty, we got Raphtalia, we got Philo. Those 3 people, it took a lot of trust, a lot of building up to him calling them friendships and family and things of that nature. So to him, losing himself in this rage, and each time he uses this curse series, it gets harder and harder to control. At first, he was able to push back with just his own emotions, not hurting others, but we can see that the more he uses it, the more the dragon can kind of eat away and really bring out those vulnerable emotions. For Naofumi, he has reasons to be pissed off. However, why focus on the negativity when he now has positivity that he can rely on, a shoulder to cry on, thanks to those natures? And when we're seeing this kind of sequence of the 3 kind of being there for him as this kind of spirit, I assumed it was just Naofumi's internal kind of soul kind of saying hey, stupid, you have good people with you, don't give in to the rage. So when you actually learn that they were willingly getting burned to kind of pull him away to not get consumed by this rage, it's a really sweet moment because typically, a scene like that, you would say, oh, it's just, friendship can beat anything, but no, it's literally these are the people who saved his soul in the beginning, and that's why they can pull him away from being consumed by a dragon's rage, and that's a really great sequence, because if you really compare it to when Naofumi first burned Raphtalia and cursed her when they were fighting the dragon, and then it took a shit ton of time to heal her, it's such a different moment when she's willingly getting burned this time and smiling because it's not the same moment, even though at first glance it kind of looks like it. And it's such a beautiful moment and character moment because Naofumi was really about to get lost in rage, and not only would he kill the Pope, he would have killed himself and others in the process. And it's such a great moment. Last week I was mentioning I was really excited to see just some of the combos that could happen between the heroes because obviously you would see stuff like the bow and the sword working together, but in this episode we see the spear and the shield really doing something that's quite cool. Using the spear to kind of charge up the rage so then you could throw a curse right back to the Pope. Of course it's not going to work, you're in a holy temple, that's going to get dispelled immediately, but it's still nice to see how the combos were functioning. There's a bit of humor to it, kind of tossing around the spear hero and just him not knowing what the hell's going on, but sure, if you want me to hit you, I absolutely will. Just the overall combos and just how, when they really do work together, you get a glimpse of what the heroes could truly do in a wave. This isn't even the wave they're fighting, but you're seeing that even though this man has a ridiculous shield that keeps getting recharged, he doesn't even care that he's killing his followers. If they're gonna fall, who cares? This is to defeat the devil, they have to be willing to give their lives. It's completely cruel and unbelievable, but you understand how cults like this can happen when they really believe in something that they think is divine and really can't be kind of explained with logic. And then you're seeing just how when they kind of try to fight individually, this guy can wipe them. However, when they kind of use their abilities together, even though 3 of these heroes really haven't mastered their weapons like Naofumi has, them wondering, why the hell is this guy stronger than us when he's not even the same level? Naofumi's just being like, you guys are idiots because you can't use your weapons properly. But even with that said, if they work together, you're seeing that they actually do fairly well. Of course, they do get their back pushed against a wall a fair amount in this battle, but you're getting a glimpse that if they could only just put all these differences aside when it came to the action, they can bicker outside of battle all they want, you're really seeing a glimpse of what the heroes could do, or what the heroes should be doing and probably did throughout all the other generations of the shield hero, bow, sword, and spear heroes across all the times and just waves that they fought. It's such an interesting battle because there's a lot of visual spectacle. You can tell there was a lot of polish and time that went into this battle, and it just looked amazing seeing the explosions, the fire, the lightning, just all the effects. It really made it feel like this was a devastating impact in battle overall. It kind of felt heroic. The way the music would build up, you were feeling like, holy shit, I used to hate these characters and I still don't like them, but it feels like they're working together for their own end goals here, but they kind of line up and you kind of feel inspired. And then when the music just cuts off and the Pope is like, "Nuh-uh, bitches, I'm gonna change everything going on here," it's such a devastating impact, and it's so corrupt seeing the warped perspective and how he's basically messing with illusions and curses. It is so just disorienting. And that transition from heroic music to just completely cutting off the music and making it feel demonic, it is such a perfect way to go about it. And I'm not sure if too many people have mentioned this, but I think the Pope's voice acting was amazing. He really got into that kind of demonic villainous role, and you could understand how he could persuade people in this cult-like manner. And it's just, he got into that role and really made him feel like a proper villain that was just, he just fit that villainous role so flawlessly. And I just really enjoyed his presence. Even though he's such a sick and twisted bastard, I really enjoyed him. And just seeing what Naofumi did, the whole blood curse thing, like literally sacrificing most of his blood, and then you have like this jack-in-the-box come up to eat him. The way they detailed his blood literally splattering through his body was some of the most brutal scenery we've seen in this show. Of course we've seen blood, of course we've seen torment, but just seeing Naofumi not actually know what's going on, and then that blood splatter to then just that jack-in-the-box like creature coming in to eat the Pope, it is absolutely brutal. The Queen, I can already tell, is going to be one of my favorite characters in the show. Not only is she just radiating this power, like even before you saw her magic, she just felt like she was in charge. She knew what she was doing, she was rallying the troops, and then you see her magic be able to pierce this cathedral to even freeze the Pope and let the heroes be able to take him out, just she didn't realize that Naofumi's curse would go to this extreme. And I like how just when she enters the scene, everyone knows Mama's here. She's head in charge. Like, no one's gonna be able to screw around, plot behind her back. If she's in front of you, there's nothing you can do, and you know Naofumi's gonna make it out alive. And this is what I'm so excited to see. Where do we go now? Of course you know the father. Of course you know Worst Girl are going to get punished. That's to be expected. But what happens to the heroes? Like, it feels like she truly believes in the shield hero. And I don't think it's gonna completely go back to the way it was before. I do expect the other heroes will probably try to be that generic hero again. However, I don't think with the Queen now here, it's gonna go that smoothly. Before they had a really shitty ruler kind of promoting their really toxic behavior. But now you have a true ruler who's been protecting Naofumi all along here, really trying to support him, and now you're not going to be able to go back to that same lifestyle that you're going to attempt to, and that's going to be so interesting to see where it goes. This definitely was the most visually impressive episode to me, even though that like jack-in-the-box like figure, it had a little clunky 3D to it. The rest of the episode, especially when it came to the more spectacles and just flair to the episode, looked gorgeous. The overall reactions, especially the torment in Naofumi's eyes, the crying, just the very subtle emotions that really bring out the emotional impact to the show so damn flawlessly. The voice actors giving it their all. I always adore it when Naofumi gets lost in rage. His actor in the Japanese just really gets into that performance. Makes it feel like someone is actually being possessed by a demon. The Pope's voice acting, even the heroes, I feel like, even though they are that kind of like tropey voice, they really do fit like what's going on with them, sort of being woken up to what's happening around them, but of course you know they're not totally going to believe everything, and this is just in their own self-interest of why they're working with the shield hero at this moment. And then just the smaller details like the sound effects. I really love it when Naofumi gets into this dragon armor, because there's these small kind of sound effects of clinking and clanging that just make it feel like there's actually a demonic suit of armor on him, so when he's walking around or attacking, the spell things of that nature. There's these small little details that aren't always present with every battle, but certain scenes like this, you really hear all the small details that make it feel like an actual battle with impact and just sounds that you realistically would hear if you were in this sequence. This was just such a fun episode. Seeing the Queen just starting off the episode, I'm just like, holy shit, she's getting ready for battle. She's not some ruler who hides in the distance. She fights head on. She must have a lot of power, as else this would be pretty stupid to risk your top political figure. And then you see her magic at the end, you're like, oh shit, I understand why she leads the cavalry, because she can't be messed with. It is just so interesting seeing just what's going on in this political kingdom. Obviously, she has a lot to explain of why this all went down the way it did, but you know she's on the hero's side. You know that she has to have a good reason for all this, and that's what I've been waiting to see for so long. And the fact that we didn't get this at the end of the season, we actually got this at episode 20, it means we have time to really learn with this character before leaving us off on a cliffhanger, wondering if we're going to get a season 2 or not. And that makes me so excited. Now, Fumi, even though we've seen a situation like this a couple of times with him losing himself in the Curse series, it just feels like they keep finding new ways to explore, because every time he used it, he gets closer and closer to being lost in demonic rage, and now it's not just Raphtalia who can pull him away, he now has 3 friends and family that he can rely on, and that's really nice because it's not like Naofumi forgives and forgets. The reason he works with these heroes is because he has to in this moment. He doesn't like them, he doesn't trust them, he doesn't love them, he hates them, but you see that they needed each other's help in order to survive this wave, as else they would have been dead when the queen arrived. The fact that even though he does have certain allies with the shop owners and things like that, the only one he truly trusts in and could even say that he considers them friends and family would be the 3 in his party right now. And that took a lot of building, a lot of trust, a lot of pushing back, and them really trying their best to be by his side. This trust and friendship, it didn't just come from thin air. He's not some generic hero who's just like, oh, you want to be my friend? Okay, you can be my friend. Remember when that group of army soldiers wanted to fight with him? He forced them to get enough money to prove that they would actually willingly fight alongside him. He gave them that money to buy armor because they would be useless if they die in the battle, so equip yourself because I don't need that money. Now, Fumi isn't someone who easily trusts, and he's not going to easily trust this queen. He's going to demand things, and I don't know what all he'll want to demand. I don't know if the queen will give everything, but it's going to take a lot of trust, a lot of mending for him to trust in this queen. Even if she saves his life, he's not someone who easily forgives and forgets. Even if she didn't willingly let this happen, she was gone and he suffered for it. This is what I love about the Rising of the Shield Hero. When you really break down the many layers that it's kind of built off of, you see so many interesting things at play, and the politics and just situations at hand are going to get even more crazy now that Mama is home, and I am so excited to see where it's going to go. Everything about this episode was just made for me. I loved it, and the only thing I could even say was a minor issue for me would be that one little clunky 3D shot that was there for like less than 30 seconds, so it's not even a big issue for me. For everyone who did watch though, for source material readers or anime originals like myself, what did you think of this week's episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero? Did you love it as much as myself, or did you find it a bit of a letdown? Let me know down in the comment section below, and if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't been new. So until next time everyone, please take care, have a good one.